Hey everybody, I'm Tom Vasel. Welcome to Week in Review. And we're back, and we have a lot of things we did last week, and we're going to tell you about it, kind of in short summaries, and then we have links to all the videos in the description below so you can go see the full thing. Let's get started.
Hey everybody, I'm Zee Garcia, and here's what I did last week. So I reviewed Merchant's Cove with the rest of the guys. I rated this a 5 out of 10. Some of them rated it more highly. I thought it was a game that was very much about mechanisms, and it does feel like an interesting embracing of various mechanisms, bringing that to the forefront and saying, look at all these things we get to play with. But the game didn't feel that fun to me. I thought the mechanisms sort of being front and center that way didn't allow for any fun. It seems to put mechanics first, fun will come from that, but in this one, it didn't feel like it did for me. I reviewed We Care, which is a spin-off of The Grizzled. I rate this a 7 out of 10. We Care has a medical theme, and you're cooperating in it, trying to, not overflow in hospital beds. It's an interesting theme. It's a lovely theme. It's a powerful theme. And the game has a powerful message in it. I just didn't find it to be as compelling as The Grizzled. I still like that one better. I think mechanically it's a little bit stronger. I think it flows a little bit better. This one has quite a few steps to go through, more so than The Grizzled, it felt like. And so while I like it, of course, I'm not sure I would say you got to go pick this up and give your Grizzled away. I'm sticking with Grizzled personally, and it's a lovely theme as well. I reviewed The Dead Eye, which I rate an 8 out of 10. This is a one-player game, a very strange little game, which you can put on 3D glasses, and the cards and the board are printed in using a 3D effect. It's a strange creation. It's a very sort of micro game-esque deck building game, again, esque, in which you're trying to traverse this strange, bizarre alien planet. I think it's not going to be for everyone. I really liked it, though. It's the kind of solitaire game I tend to enjoy. Small, quick, and fast-paced. One that has a very clear you win or you lose end game goal. And if you want something that's simply different, you're the kind of gamer who feels like you have everything, this is probably something you don't quite have. So check this one out. Lastly, I reviewed the latest expansion to 51st State Master Set. This is called Moloch, and I love it. It gets a 9 out of 10. It brings the robots back to the party. Moloch is the big bad in the game, and there are going to be these machines in the center of the table that you have to deal with. You can hack them to take a card that they give you, and then you put the robot to work for you, basically, in your empire, or you can just, shoot them up, destroy them, get victory points that way. I really think it's fantastic. It's so thematic. The rules overhead is kept to a minimum while injecting a very engaging amount of theme and fun back into the game. Really, really like it. So there you go. That's it for me. I'll see you on the next one.
Week in Review. This week I took a look at Power Grid, the stock company's really cool change to Power Grid. It makes it more like an 18xx game without all the craziness of 18xx placement. Next we took a look at Four Gardens, the Dice Tower Essentials, beautiful three-dimensional facing placing game with resource management. If you haven't seen this, you're going to notice it when you walk past it on a table at a conference. It's gorgeous, it's fun, it's really, really good. Four Gardens. And then I also took a look at all of the expansions for Bloodborne. That would be the Hunter's Dream, the Chalice Dungeon, Forbidden Woods, and the Forsaken Castle Canehurst. So took a look at all that this week. Hope you enjoy that, and we'll be back next week with more.
Yo, my peoples, what's up? Jason here from the Shelf Stories YouTube channel. Wanted to wish Tom and the gang a happy move-in to the new digs. Looking forward to all the videos that are going to come forth. I reviewed 2 games in an expansion over the past week. First one was Embers of Memory, a Throne of Glass game. This one is a 2-player asymmetric cooperative game. Limited information. One player is trying to read what the other one has behind secret cards. It's based on a previous game, The Ravens of Three Sahashri. I actually prefer the older game more than this product. Go ahead and check out the video for my reasoning. I also reviewed Not Alone, which is a one versus many game card-based kind of poker-esque where one player is trying to get into the heads of the others who are running around and just trying to escape. This one is fabulous, excellent. I've played this game many, many times over the years, including its expansion, the Exploration expansion. 9 out of 10 seal of excellence. And then I reviewed Sanctuary, the new expansion for Not Alone. Didn't love everything that this one added, but there's a little piece that's basic Sanctuary piece that I thought added a whole lot to the base game. 8.5 out of 10, seal of excellence as well. So this is Jason reminding you, enjoy your games and enjoy the day.
Hi, I'm Judy from the Nerd Shelves. This week we reviewed Mountain Goats. In this game, there are 6 mountains and we're sending our goats up to the mountain top and try to keep them there as long as possible. And we're just gonna collect all the points by rolling dice. So there are 4 dice and we're gonna try to pair up the numbers and then climb those mountains that are indicated by number 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, all the way to 10. Now, if we get to collect all the points, the highest point is the winner of Mountain Goats. We give it a 6.5 out of 10.
Hello everybody, this is Graeme Anderson, and this week I looked at 2 games. The first one was Tungaru, a game set in the tropical islands with a gorgeous aesthetic. The main mechanism is dice placement. All players will have the same dice after the first player rolls theirs. Unfortunately, I felt the main problem with the game is that the main mechanism wasn't fully realized. If a lot of my time it doesn't matter what die I placed, then why do I have dice? Still, an enjoyable game, but one that I felt just missed out on the opportunity and gave it a 7 out of 10. The other game is Moneybags, a small, quick game about being thieves and stealing money from the other players' bags. If you steal too much and get called out, then whomever has the larger stack of coins is the loser and is out of the rounds. Fantastic coins in this game and good quality bags, but unfortunately the size of the bags was a major issue for the game. It's an enjoyable game or activity, but once the novelty wears off, it's not something I'm going to be going back to very often. And I gave it a 5.5 out of 10. And that's it for this week.
Hey guys, Blake here, and this week I took a look at Vamp on the Batwalk, a 2 to 6 player trick-taking game, competitive, where you can't see your own hand of cards. I think this is a great family-friendly trick-taking game. For me, it's a solid 7.5 out of 10.
Hey, it's Roy, and this week I took a look at 2 Marvel Champions packs. The first one is Gamora. This is a pack that's all about playing a bunch of different events that are attack events and thwart events, so very good and very balanced at like being able to take care of the different things in the Marvel Champions card game. And I gave that an 8, very enjoyable deck, but I also reviewed Star-Lord. This is an awesome pack that allows you to cheat really expensive cards into play, but lots of different threats and bad things that can happen to you when you do such things. Definitely an awesome deck as well. I actually gave this one an excellent with a 9.5 just because it plays so different. I really enjoyed the Star-Lord deck, and I love Marvel Champions. I also helped take a look at Red Rising with the 4 squares guys, and Red Rising is a game from Stonemaier Games. We're trying to get a whole bunch of different cards out, and it was pretty fun, and I like the combos, but there were a few little things that I found interesting about like what kind of cards and kind of getting your hand locked up and things like that. I gave it a 6.5, a game that I would still play, but you should definitely check out our review to see our thoughts on the game overall, and that's what I reviewed this week.
Hey everyone, Chris here. This week I looked at 4 games. The first one was Mercado de Lisboa. This is a game I was very excited about because it's supposed to be a filler and kind of lightweight Vital Lacerda game with the co-designer Julian Pombo, and I was extremely disappointed by this one. I gave it a 4. I did not enjoy it. Not only did I not enjoy it, I realized after several plays I don't actually have anything really nice to say about it, and every time I taught it to people, they didn't have anything nice to say about it. It was a huge miss for me. So a harsh review, but it was a 4. Next up was Bananagrams Duel, which I rated a 6, so higher than that other game. Bananagrams Duel is dumb. It is really, really a odd way to put a Scrabble-like word game onto cubes instead. And I kept playing it, and I kind of had fun with it, but it's still a dumb idea. I just recommend the original Bananagrams if that's what you're looking for, but still kind of fun. Next up, I was part of a 4-square of Red Rising. I gave this one a 6.5, which is very disappointing because the highs of the game are fantastic. I would really like this game. I could give it a much higher rating, but unfortunately there are some take that cards which don't seem to fit in with it, and a little bit of the stuff on the board kind of feels like it doesn't matter in the end. So ultimately a game that I really, really like and I think people should try, but also you could have some awful games where you were hindered right from the beginning from some of the take that. that and it'll never recover. And last up, I also was into 4 squares of Merchant's Cove. This is a very ambitious game that I really appreciate, and it's nicely produced, it's beautiful and everything, but I appreciate the ambition of having multiple different factions, and the expansions will help where players are asymmetric roles and will approach a very simple game but with some variability, and then you'll say, oh, I want to play that time next, I want to play that one next time, I want to play a different faction. So it's cool, but ultimately a little bit simple, and so I gave that one a 6.5 as well. So that was my week.
Hey there everybody, it's Mike Delisio, and this week I reviewed 2 games. I was part of 2 4-square reviews. First, we reviewed Red Rising from Stonemaier Games. This is a game based on a series of novels that I'm not very familiar with. I haven't read the books, but the game itself is a card game essentially. Feels a lot like Fantasy Realms. I thought the game was okay. I gave it a 6.5 out of 10, but I really preferred Fantasy Realms, and they're so similar that I always felt like I would choose that over Red Rising. I also reviewed Merchant's Cove, which is an asymmetric game where you play as merchants that are trying to produce goods and sell goods to customers, but you're doing it in a completely different way depending on which merchant you play as. You might have a dice placement mechanic, you might have a kind of little marble pulling game as a mechanic. So I think it's really, really clever. I gave this an 8.5 out of 10, a seal of excellence, but just be aware, as you'll hear from the other people, I was by far the highest score on this. The others didn't like it nearly as much as I did. But that's it for me this week. Let's keep it moving.
Okay, so for me, first of all, I did a 7 games I'm not going to play again, 7 negative reviews, just a pile of stuff that I didn't find to be fantastic. Then we did some bigger reviews. We did Merchant's Cove together, and I didn't really care for this one that much. The concept is amazing. I give the concept a 10 out of 10, where each person plays an asymmetrical side, but the actual game itself didn't excite me. Space Invaders, the board game, this one's just bad. It's just a bad game all around, unfortunately. They took a license for Space Invaders, took Dominion, smashed them together with a bad rule set. Gorinto, this is an abstract strategy game, which looks pretty. I like playing it, but the end game I didn't really like. And so the end game kind of just made the whole game not as exciting to me. Red Rising. This game is fine, and I'll play it. I have an entertaining time playing it most of the time, but some games I don't enjoy. And it pales besides the game that it's spawned from, Fantasy Realms. And yeah, it's a beautiful looking game, although the deluxe version is not good at all. Lions of Lydia, this one I liked, but it left me just a little bit cold. There was a little bit, you're getting resources, building an engine, but I never felt like the engine got to be interesting enough for me to want to keep going back to it. It's a solid game, just I don't really feel like playing it anymore. Kawa. This is a very unique, weird game where you are petals of flowers floating down rivers. Very strange theme, has a very strange flow to the game, but I enjoyed it. Keyforge Dark Tidings, the newest expansion for Keyforge. There are some things I'm disappointed about this because I don't get to see the cool new stuff sometimes. This has a Rising Tide, which I find to be okay, but I still like Keyforge. I still have fun playing the new set. Note my review is based off of just one starter set with 2 decks. Mazescape, taking a map of maze and unfolding it and folding it to move around. It's a cool idea. This is a good game to play while you're on a plane or in a car. The Specialists, I really like this one. An Ocean's 11 style game where you're gathering together a group of people to rob various places around the world. A dice drafting set collection game, very good. The Game, Face to Face. This 2-player version of the game, I'm not a huge fan of the game, but it's a cooperative, counting up and down, but for some reason making it head-to-head, face-to-face with another person, I found to be a tense, interesting card game. And Equinox. Equinox, I reviewed this with my kids. This is a reprint of Colossal Arena, which I really like that game. This same game, just beautiful artwork. A lot of fun, works especially well with 3 players. I also did my top 10 games, if you like bingo, to check out. Shoots and Marbles is back on. I did a boring unboxing, a very long boring unboxing. We had crowd surfing, where we talk about the games that come out and Kickstarter each week, and Look Back, where I take a look at reviews I did 1, 5, and 10 years ago. A Q&A. We got all kinds of stuff that's back, folks, and there's even more videos coming this week. Thanks so much for watching. Well, Week in Review. Until next time, I'm Tom Vasel, and you've been watching The Dice Tower.